You look good in red.
Thank you. Hey, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for the nice compliment, Cheri. So welcome. This is our second interview for today. We are talking with Cheri Thomas, and this is my new series, How COVID-19 Has Affected Us as women, as business owners, as moms, as wives, whatever. I thought it was an important topic to discuss now that everything is going on. So if you are watching live in the group and want to ask questions and be a part of the discussion, please join us in Zoom. The link is actually in the Facebook event, so I hope you will join us because I'm not monitoring the group until after. So today I am talking with Cheri Thomas, and she started her Mary Kay business in April of 1984 alongside of working as a retail manager for a women's clothing chain. She was a newlywed at the time and just started the business to make an extra $50 a week for her own mad money for clothes, for shoes, extras towards the purchase of their first home. She found that holding 1 to 2 parties a week was almost doubling her income, so she left her full-time job in August of 1986 to pursue working her business full-time. In July of 1987, she earned her first Mary Kay car, a Pontiac Grand Am, by just holding 1 to 2 parties a week and interviewing 3 people a week to be added to her team, about 15 hours devoted to her business. Her first daughter was born in August of 1987. She went on to moving up to the next leadership level as a sales director in February of 1989. Her second daughter was born in May of 1989. Yes, pregnancy always gave her the motivation to work harder since she didn't want to have to go and work for anyone else ever again. I know that feeling. I never want to go back to the corporate world again. She liked calling the shots, working when wanted, and earning the money that she was worth, not dependent on what others thought her time and effort was worth. So she has earned 17 free cars or the cash allowance instead. Queen's Court of Sales, which she'll have to tell us what that is about, selling over $40,000 in retail each year for 14 years. She's led 4 women to sales director status and her unit to the $300,000 circle of achievement 3 times. She has earned the Queen's Court of Sharing once, sponsoring 24 women to start their own business in 1 year, and many more than that over the years. She's blessed to be happily married to her husband, Scott, for 36 years and have 2 grown daughters, each following their dreams to be women of excellence in their chosen careers. careers. She could not have accomplished so much without their love and support and outstanding products and support from the Mary Kay company and the outstanding women on her team. She thanks God daily that she was introduced to the Mary Kay company 36 years ago. So welcome, Cheri.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I so appreciate it. I feel honored.
Oh, thank you for doing this. Now, I will say how I met Cheri. So I've met Cheri twice now in my life. First, 15 years ago, when I got married to my husband, she knew somebody that was in my bridal party, and Cheri came and did my makeup, and she did a wonderful job. And then I met Cheri again years later when I joined Mary Kay and couldn't believe that she did my makeup all those years ago. And I still wear Mary Kay products now. She is my beauty consultant that I get all my products from. So Cheri, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the company, what you do, and then we'll get into the questions about how COVID has affected you and how you had to pivot.
Well, thank you. One of the things that I've loved most about Mary Kay when I first was introduced was that it was really a company that was more about people and love rather than profit and loss. It's all about empowering women. I've absolutely loved that. I, was working in a retail store, and even working in retail in the clothing industry, I'd love to help women look good and then feel good. So that's really what I do now with Mary Kay, helping their skin, helping with color application. And again, the bottom line is helping to empower other women.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm
so
really
important.
blessed to be able to be working with other consultants and mentoring them and helping them achieve, success financially, just personal fulfillment in knowing that they're making a difference in other people's lives.
Yeah, that's so important. Helping women for sure. That's why I wanted to do this series too, to have, like I said in the earlier interview, we're all going through the same thing right now, but differently. So I think it's important to get different people's perspectives.
Yeah.
So typically your business is getting in front of people, hosting parties, networking, telling people about your product. So when COVID hit back in March, 6 months ago, how did that affect you and your business?
Well, I have to tell you, the first probably 3 or 4 days, I was like in shock. I'm like, how am I going to do this? Because Mary Kay was always about getting in front of people, knee to knee, helping them with their skincare, with their color. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to like really change up how I do business. And I'd been doing this for almost 36 years back in, well, April was 36 years. So I thought, oh my goodness, I have to shift. How am I going to do this? So I really took the first 2 weeks. So probably from like St. Patrick's Day to the end of the month, getting in front of every video session or webinar that I could get to learn how to work my business more in a virtual way. I've never been really big about doing Facebook parties. I
No,
would
you haven't.
I would meet people like, when I'm out at the grocery store or a referral from a friend at someone's home, and I wasn't going to be doing that. So I thought I really have to make sure I change this up and find a way. And I know, and Mary Kay's often said, find a way, make a way. Oh, I knew I could do it. I was just going to take some time and effort to learn. And I've always believed that, learning is never out for the pro. I mean, everyone was going to continue to learn something. Everything changes, and it is one of the most inevitable things, right? Change. So
Yep.
I just never thought, when you asked that question, gee, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I never thought I'd see myself having to do this kind of a pivot, but it's all been good. I have to say, I've, really come out doing better sales wise. My unit has shifted as well. They're probably shifting a little slower, but they're doing it, and it's hard. Some people, that learning curve is just a little more difficult. So I love my consultants where they are, but I'm always encouraging them to, jump on and learn something new.
So what have you been doing to get in front of those people now? I know a lot of stuff is virtual. So what types of things are you doing that are virtual? I know one or two I've attended, but tell people what you've been doing.
Well, I started doing parties via Zoom, and I have my unit also having people jump on. So what I'll do is put out an invitation, either a Facebook. I send out a virtual business. I have a virtual business card because let's face it, I'm not handing a paper business card out to anybody. Yeah. I'll send my virtual business card, inviting them on to some of our events. I would often send them samples, some of our events, send samples, an outline, a closing sheet or like an information sheet of the different sets that we're going to be going over, some career opportunity information. And so we send those usually out about a week ahead of time, and they'll kind of follow along. So we're actually just doing a skincare class or a color application class, or sometimes it's more like show and tell. Tonight we're doing a back to beauty school party, and it's really more of a show and tell event. So, and we just then follow up. I learned how to do a Google Doc, so I could send a Google Doc to get their opinion. Can't believe all this time
I'm proud of you.
I'm like, I never thought. So I, again, I'm just really happy that actually that, COVID actually hit, because it allowed me to step out of my comfort zone. When you're doing something as long as you have, you just get very complacent and do things the same way. So this has been really a great experience. I find I have a much better attitude because I'm like looking forward to a challenge every day. Instead of like shying away, I just realize, okay, I just have to accept, change, and I'm going to try something new. So it's good.
How did it affect you personally, if it did?
Well, in me initially, like I said, I was like, oh my goodness. But after the first couple of weeks, I actually started feeling more empowered. I definitely have felt more confident because I think anytime that you accept a challenge and see that you're able to do it and come out the other side doing very well, it's going to build your confidence. And I've often taught my consultants that. I tell them all the time, even if selling skincare and color cosmetics isn't your lifelong goal, anytime you set a goal in other areas of your life, it helps to build confidence. And then you can tackle maybe a challenge in your marriage or a challenge at work, a challenge with your kids, feeling more confident. So again, it's all been very good. I can honestly say when I looked at my sales for personal sales in the last 6 months, since this has gone on, 3 months of the 6 were exponentially higher in sales than last year, the same 6 months. 3 of the months, they were about the same or a little under, but the difference for those good months. And I think part of it is just because of my attitude. I think part of it is I'm just reaching out more. I've actually done more parties in the last 6 months than I probably did in the last 6 years altogether, because again, of that complacency. It's wonderful. I'm meeting people all around the country where I had never really, asked myself or my consultants to reach out to people around the country. And it's just been so nice to do that with Zoom. And I'm not shying away from those challenges. So it's good.
That's awesome. Well, I know with Mary Kay, I started it because I loved the products. And again, this was years ago. But it definitely made me come out of my comfort zone because you do have to get in front of people. You do have to get the products in front of them, and you do have to have the parties. So how are you getting all of your information out there? Have you found that social media is the way to start growing this now?
It's definitely been the biggest help. I put together I've always had a Facebook group with my customers, but I actually started another Facebook group, which is a group that all my consultants can invite customers to. It's called Beauty for You, exclamation point. So then they get their customers to come in that group. So where they may not have been real big about coming up with a Facebook private group, I can invite them there, and their customers are actually learning of the events, or we'll feature a product. I'm starting a new thing. We're going to be interviewing consultants and doing kind of like I got the idea from you, to share with everyone in our group, the women that make up our unit in Mary Kay. And I've also used a virtual business card. I don't know if it's really social media, but I basically
but it's the way you've grown your business right now.
Yeah. And it's really worked out well. It's actually kind of like a interactive business card. So when I send that out, it kind of brings them to a little mini website right from their phone, and they can see the events. They can register for the events. They see different benefits of working with a Mary Kay consultant, all the different services that I offer, and also sharing the opportunity, because the company itself really did a great job in pivoting.
That was going to be my next question. How has Mary Kay supported everybody with this transition that we all had to make?
Well, they've obviously really shared a lot more on how to work your business virtually. They actually they started at April 1st. They're offering consultants the opportunity to sign on to be a Mary Kay consultant and do it virtually for just $39. It's not $39.99, I think. But normally it's $100 to start a business with Mary Kay. You get a full starter kit and you have almost $400 worth of product. But let's face it, we're not getting face-to-face. The products that are in the kit are not designed to send out as samples. We try to keep like the highest integrity for sampling, making sure we use products that the company generates to us that are all, sanitized and whatnot. So they really don't want people, Mary Kay consultants, sending out product in their own little makeshift sample baggies or, polycons. So for $39, you actually get a website for a year, and you also get access to credit card processing. So you can just really do a virtual business. You can just do an online business. sending out e-cards. The e-cards obviously have expanded to, highlight more products, highlight the opportunity. So they've really done a great job. And initially that promotion was only going to be for 3 months, and they've extended it through the end of December. So that's a really huge benefit. If people want, they can still purchase a starter kit and get all the product plus the e-start program for $39. So it's just a nice to have options. And they really helped us, continue to grow our teams too, because you're going to have people that might not want to spend $100, say if they lost their job, or their husbands are downsized, or there's just not overtime, that they're used to. This would be a great way for people to pick up at a home business where they can make some extra money and help fill in the gaps.
Yeah. How has this affected your family? And I know your kids are all grown and out of the house, but how has this affected your family personally, professionally? How are they dealing with it?
That's a great question. I probably have an extra level of caution because my husband works for an adult living facility. He works with people that are independent living, assisted living, and nursing home. So he's in charge of security. So, you can't get much more concerned about your, residents than he. He's in charge of their safety and their security. So we at our home are taking more precautions, which I would probably do anyways, just because I'm working more mailing product directly from the house. I was going to the post office for the first month, and I'm like, I don't even want to go to the post office. I'll have my mask on at the post office only if I have to, but I, started working from home, sending things through pirateship.com, and that's a huge saving. But as far as my family, I still would love to see my grandson, and I just don't feel real comfortable, if I'm out a ton in the public and not taking precautions. I don't want to possibly expose my daughter or have her expose me either. She's immune compromised, and she'll be going back to teaching in another week or so, and I'll be going back to babysitting 1 day a week. I'm so lucky to do that.
I know.
I truly am. I'm blessed to have my in-home business, so I can, keep those priorities in order. So, again, we're probably a little bit more cautious. My other daughter works for the VA. They've done really more remote work from home. So I haven't been afraid to get together with Sarah and her husband. And Rachel, like I said, takes extra precaution because of her immune system. Yeah. And just my husband's extra cautious. So, that's like the only thing that's really affected me, other than the fact that my husband's probably a little bit more annoyed that I'm home more. He used to love it. I was out, I was in, I was out, I was in. So now I'm always in. So,
But your puppy must love it.
Oh, my dog loves it. Absolutely. Bella loves it. Yeah.
So have you found, because we are home more, obviously, have you found that women are looking to take better care of themselves? Is that how your sales have increased? Because I'll be honest, I don't put on makeup unless I'm doing something like this. So what has been the biggest seller right now that women are looking to have?
That's a great question. Most, I think our not just Mary Kay skincare sales, but everyone's skincare sales are up. And I do think it's because women are maybe having a little more time or taking more time to take care of themselves. It's all that premise too, that when you look good, you feel good. And even if you don't put makeup on, everyone needs to wash their face. And there's a real issue right now with maskne, acne from wearing your masks. So women are looking at their skin maybe a little bit more and realizing I need to fix something there. I got to tell you, I was really delighted yesterday. I got a text from one of my customers. She only uses a few skincare products, mainly color products. And she said, well, Cheri, now that I really don't feel comfortable, because she happens to work at the same facility that my husband does. So she's being extra cautious. She goes, I can't go to the spa to get any treatment. So what does Mary Kay have for a really good mask? So I was delighted to be able to help her with something. We have a biocellulose mask, and it's really for an extreme pampering experience. So I was really happy that I could offer her something. And it happens to be on sale this month for my back to school sale. So she was really doubly blessed. So I don't know. You know, that's whole thing about business and sales, right? Find a need, help find a need and fill it. So I've really found that I've been able to share with my customers, you know, some great skincare products, and it's definitely the biggest selling products right now is skincare.
That's awesome. So earlier I talked about how this affects people maybe emotionally. I know I went through a little depression when this first hit because you're just trying to adjust and, you know, really we were just thrown into, okay, this is what's going on. Now you got to get your kid ready for school and all that. Your husband's home. How did this affect you emotionally, if it did?
I have to tell you, the first month and a half, maybe it was because I wasn't sleeping really well, but I was up studying until after midnight, learning things. I did some free online courses and then paid for a course on learning how to work my business virtually. There was homework. I had to be accountable. So I think between being overtired and a little nervous, the first 6 weeks was a little rough, but again, ever since then, I've just realized, you know what? It's not what happens to us, it's how we respond to it. Mm. So I would be like, I always picture Mary Kay right here going, okay, what are you going to do now? Or, you know, if I was there, what would you be doing? So I can honestly say, I would just say, you know what would Mary Kay do right now? Well, she would just say, face the fear and do it anyways, you know? So I had to like talk myself into, you know, maybe accepting more challenges and realizing once you start doing that, you feel more confident and you're ready to accept the next.
How did you stay motivated during all of this?
I'm motivated to make connections. That's one of the things that I have a dear friend who, you know, Nermeen Sikari. Mm-hmm. She's a strengths coach. And again, God's timing, we had done a seminar not that long ago, and she realized that one of my strengths in working within my strength is connecting people. So when this started early April, a friend of mine said, you know, let's just do some virtual fun events. And I thought this is perfect for me because that's what I'm all about, connecting people. So we, you know, would do something every Wednesday and every Saturday. And I thank Eileen Meckley for that. She kind of spearheaded the thing. And I came on as a co-chair for her to do this event. And it really, I got to tell you, helping other people, not expecting anything in return makes a huge difference. That actually helped my attitude a lot, helped to build, you know, bring that up, give me a more positive. I loved watching people laugh. Again, helping to empower women. I just love to help empower people. And if give them some reason to be excited for the day, have something to look forward to. And laughter is one of the best medicines, right? To help our attitudes. So it was great to do that with her. And I've just kept connecting. So motivating myself to have a goal every week to connect with maybe 5 new people. Either asking for referrals or doing these virtual events, enticing my customers to invite some people that are new to me and giving them free product for the referral. Started working with Banner Seasons, and I've loved to get the results of people that have started seeing, you know, their reaction to different products that I've sent out as thank you gifts and whatnot. So just watching other people feeling better helps to motivate me. I mean, it's like a ripple effect, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. I know it is so exciting to see how people react to certain things. What have you been doing for fun to keep busy besides work? What have you been doing to keep busy? And did you get to spend more time with your husband, or did he consistently keep working? How did that work?
Oh, well, because of his business, his job, he is an essential worker. So nothing really changed for him.
So you didn't get more family time then?
No, not really. And it's okay. I think that's why we've been married 36 years.
So what have you been doing to keep busy then?
Well, I've really loved that on the weekends. I work really hard from like Monday afternoon to Friday afternoon. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
blessed am I. Yeah, they have to work a full 5 days, right?
Yeah.
And then I get ready and I gear up. My husband and I have a camper that sits on Seneca Lake on a seasonal site. We love being outside. People will look at me and go, "You really love camping?" I love camping. So my husband and I get all that quality time on the weekends, and it's great. So we're usually there, like I said, from Friday night until Monday afternoon. So that's our downtime.
Yeah.
I love to work hard and then I love to play hard. So I
And
can
then you
do
got
that.
that cute little grandbaby of yours.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't get a chance to see him. I haven't had a chance to see him
Yeah.
that much. Um, During the summer when my daughter was off, there really wasn't a need for me. And not that I couldn't just go over there. But that's the other thing, God had a plan. I blew the head gasket of my car the very first weekend that we opened our camp.
Oh
And I'm
no.
like, oh, this is great. I just earned a new car from Mary Kay, but I don't have it delivered yet. So, and do I want to purchase an SUV instead of take the company car? Because we have that cash option with Mary
Uh-huh.
Kay. So, but I wasn't in a real big hurry to replace it because I honestly, I wasn't even going to the post office. I was just direct mailing things from home. So, and it was nice not to feel pressure to have to go and make a decision on that. But then it also created a little bit of a deterrent in getting over to see Logan because I needed to get the car back so my husband could actually go to work, right? So, but again, everything works out. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So I would only see him maybe one day a week, and we really enjoy. I love my time with him. I really am in heaven when I get to spend time with Logan.
Aw.
Yeah.
So now that the fall is coming, the holidays are coming, because now we really have to think about the holidays differently, especially for those immune compromised people. And I know a lot of what you do is gift giving, especially during the holiday season in your open house. And we briefly talked about it beforehand. But how will you be able to do your open house now? Because you do have to be careful of bringing people into your home or whatever. How will you conduct that now?
You know what? Thank you for saying that. My husband just Monday night, I had set up all of our new holiday line. In fact, we have it here. I should even show it to you. I
Ooh.
have it over there now.
Ooh.
But I had it all set up at home because I was doing a Facebook event, a Zoom event with my consultants to show them all the holiday products. And when he came home from work, he saw it on the table and he goes, "Oh, like I woke up in the middle of the night. Like when he comes up to bed, I usually wake up and he's like, please don't tell me you had people over here today." So already I'm like, oh, I can see his level of,
Anxiety go up.
security in having people over to the house. So I said, no, don't worry about it. So I'm going to be doing my virtual open house, and I'll show and tell. It's not quite like sampling, just like I said, the parties that I've been able to do online. It's always nice that I can send samples because samples sell, no matter if you're selling chocolate or anything. If people can try it, you're going to be probably more successful in sales. So I think what I'm going to do too is because I have this beautiful studio that I've been paying for and not really using. I don't want to give it up. I love my space. I'm really hopeful that we're going to getting back to the old normal instead of this new normal. So I don't want to give up my space. I love bringing my customers here. I love having my consultants here. So I'll probably do my open house by appointment and make sure I just give enough time in between so I can sanitize and make sure I'll probably limit food and how I do that, but it's all workable. And again, I'm looking forward to the new challenge for the holiday season.
Yeah, it is a challenge, that's for sure. So how have you been keeping your consultants motivated? Because, unlike you, you're very happy and outgoing and, you have a great outlook during all of this. But what about the ones that haven't had that great outlook? How have you been keeping them motivated during this time and keeping them encouraged to work their business like you have?
That can be a challenge. I'm really blessed. I have consultants that have been really big about getting on Zoom to do meetings every Monday before COVID. And the reason I did that is because a lot of my top consultants live outside the area, and versus driving to Penn, which is a good hour and a half from here, or having them come to Rochester, we would get on, I'd invite them on our Monday night meeting on Zoom. And I could Zoom right from here from my studio. So those people that did want to congregate here at the studio would, and we would, just televise it. So I have, I think, maybe a handful that really are very active in continuing to do Zoom, and in part, they are more reachable as far as giving them a challenge and then them accepting a challenge. Mary Kay's often believed that if you can involve your consultants, people help to support what they help to create. So those core consultants have really worked right alongside me to come up with different themes for our Mary Kay events. I've given them a portion of the party to do. Like tonight, we're doing back to school. We're going to have an art teacher, and she's going to talk about colored products. There's going to be a social studies teacher is going to talk about, the culture in that we have in Mary Kay. And there's going to be a math teacher, and there's going to be a science teacher that's talking about skincare. So it's nice that if I can involve them, they can generally stay a little bit more motivated. And obviously they're taking their time to be on the Facebook 45-minute party tonight. They're going to probably be working harder to make sure they get guests on as well. And that's huge. I want them selling product. So any way that I can help them do that. In Mary Kay, when we help enough other people get what they want, we get what we want. So you're right. It's a constant thing. I need to find a way or make a way to get them challenged to accept, a challenge,
Yeah.
Yep.
So with you being such a person who really wants to connect with people, how have you been not being able to connect with people in person? Because, like me, I was always at Starbucks or Panera or whatever, networking. That's how we actually met the second time, was through networking. So how have you been with not being seeing people face to face?
I've been doing it via Zoom. We have a networking group that we still meet via Zoom. And that's been great. Again, I'm really thankful that I have customers, and you can imagine the customer base that I do have building my business all these years. I've had some great parties with people from Florida, a couple different groups from Florida, a group from Georgia. So connecting, it's all been online, it's all been by Zoom. Yesterday, I haven't done a lot of personal deliveries, but yesterday I did 2 deliveries. And when I was out and about, I would wear a mask. And they're okay with it. Again, it's you do you, I'll do me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to, Cheri, but if you feel more comfortable, and I appreciate that. So it has been, starting to get out and see people has been really nice. And again, I'm still taking precautions, but, and I don't just drop product to someone's door. I love to get to know what's going on with my customers. And I got to share, I'm so thankful. Send Out Cards had a really great idea. And I thank you to Teresa. I sent a card out, and it was talking when the pandemic first hit. And it was like, it had rolls of toilet paper on the front of it. I can't even remember exactly what it said right now. But I sent that out to like my top customers just to let them know that I was thinking about them and praying for them. And it gave me a reason, it gave them a reason, I think, to connect with me. And I do think, again, just staying connected in one way or another, either writing a note, inviting them on a Zoom, sharing my virtual business card, again, it's just that you're building relationships, right? When you're in sales. So just doing everything you can to continue to foster and encourage those relationships. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So it's nice to be able, Mary Kay's always taught us that. So it's just kind of ingrained. So I'm just finding new ways to make sure my my customers and my consultants know how much I care about them, and are there to help them.
You do a great job with that. That's for sure.
Thank you so much. That's sweet of you.
Do you see this? Do you see doing more of this going forward once we get back to normal, or you do a mix of it? Have you given it any thought of what you'll do once we are able to get back and be with people again?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we are in Rochester, New York, right? How much lovely weather do we have come October, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I have to tell you,
it's been feeling like fall lately, hence the tea.
So I have to tell you, I was actually thinking about, you know what, I really hope I can continue to this Zoom thing and continue to meet with my customers virtually. Yes, there is something about getting face to face, and I will not have a problem with that. However, you know, normally to go do a Mary Kay party, you know, I'm going to drive probably on the average about a half an hour to get there. I got to fight traffic. First, I got to load my car because I have a full inventory. So I have to load my car, and it's probably snowing, which is why you need an SUV. So you've got something to shelter your head while you're loading the car. It's, you know, again, you get there a half hour early to set up. Our parties are like 45 minutes. Where a normal party would have taken me 3 hours. So I gotta say, you know, it's a time saver if I can continue to do this. And again, I'm sure that I will continue. We have a Make America Beautiful challenge right now, where I've challenged my consultants as well as myself to build a new customer in every state. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to continue to do that by Zoom or Facebook Live, but Zoom, I like the interaction with people. So I definitely could see this continuing. It saved me gas, it saved me time, frustration on the road, you know, because I'd always leave around 5:36, you know, perfect time to, you know, hit the rush hour traffic. So I'm really hoping and praying I can continue to do this. And I think most people, again, the hostess especially, she's going to be saving herself time. She doesn't have to cook for her friends. She doesn't have to clean the house or get rid of the kids.
Don't have to put out food.
That's right. There's all kinds of benefits, you know, for both, you know, hostesses and consultants to continue to do this. And again, we can get face to face and have a great girlfriends night. You know, it's a pampering session and have a reason to get together with friends. And people are all looking for that, right?
Yes. I know we were just saying, my Cheri and 2 other of our friends, we do virtual wine at least once a month, because we were getting together once a month for dinner, and now we're doing virtual wine. So why not mix that up with some skincare? Wine and skincare, right?
Yeah,
that's right. So what is one thing, if somebody is watching and is going through a hard time, and is having trouble with this, what is one thing you can tell somebody to help motivate them, inspire them, empower them? What's one thing you can say?
The immediate thing I thought of was, this too shall pass. You know, when good things happen, this too shall pass. When bad things happen, this too shall pass. There is, I think, again, if you do some self-care, it's a really good way to, you know, take care of yourself, and it's going to help your attitude. Look for the good. There is a silver lining to everything. I think and again, once you start looking for the good, it might be hard in the beginning to find what is good coming out of this, but after a while, you'll be picking up on more and more things that are good. You know, you've got more time with family. Maybe you've had more time for yourself. Maybe you've done some home improvements, you know, I don't know. I've heard lots of things from my customers that, you know, a lot of good has come out of it. So look for the good, and just remember, this too shall pass.
That's a good point. How have your customers, without giving away too much, how have your customers reacted to this? How are they doing? How are they, you know, I guess, reacted to it all?
Well, you know, there's a saying, you know, lots of people will say, you know, when you go to the hairdresser, you kind of tell them everything, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that when the Mary Kay consultant, you know, if they're having a bad day, you know, they can feel comfortable to, you know, spout off or just rant with me. But most of my customers, you know, their very first first comments were, how are you doing? They were saying, how's this affecting your business? And I'm like, I got to tell you, I'm really blessed. I'm really blessed. Haven't had a negative. It's been more positive. But as far as they are concerned, I'll say, how are you? And they're like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Family's healthy. Thank God I don't know of anyone. Again, I'm just blessed to have customers that, one, they care about me. And it's kind of blows me away that, but that's the kind of relationship we have when you build up a customer base, and it's more of a friendship as much as a customer. So most of them have said, they're looking for the good too. And, maybe they can't help but say that to me because they know I'm going to come out with something positive for them. I don't know. They just know me so well.
Yeah. Well, I think that's important because you're a very faithful religious person. And I'm sure that's definitely helped you get through this.
Yes, our church has done things online from the very start. And within the first month, we actually stream our services on CW on 13.2. Oh, wow. And that is at 11 o'clock. So we've been watching from our tablets or our laptop, but now we can stream it right onto the TV now that I know how to do that, or just turn on CW. So yeah, my faith has always been one thing and that's one of the things that attracted me to Mary Kay to begin with, because they've always believed that if you can put your faith first, your family second, and your career third, you can have it all. So yes, faith has always been a main reason why I started my business. So my faith has definitely continued to pull me through. Again, this too shall pass. I know God doesn't give you anything more than you can handle. I know all of that. I know what God's word says. So that's definitely been a big
Rochester weather is now raining.
Okay.
Hope you got an umbrella.
I did.
So what is one last thing that you can leave women watching this right now to help them get through this?
I think just, again, count your blessings. They are there. And I think don't be afraid to take on something new, a new challenge. Give time for yourself. I keep going back. Mary Kay's saying was, you can't constantly pour into somebody else, whether it be your family, your work, without taking time to refill yourself. Because if you don't do that, you have nothing more to give. So take time for yourself, enjoy, even if it's just going to your room and reading a book, or go do a biocellulose mask for 20 minutes by yourself, do something to pamper yourself and take time for yourself. And just realize that, there's somebody there to encourage you, reach out to a friend. We're all in this together, right? And I think when we work together, we can help. And I think most women, we don't have a problem asking. I know you had asked someone, Katie, earlier, do you think this has affected men a little differently than women? My thought is, because I work with majority of women, I have a couple male customers, but the majority are women. I think women we feel more, than I think some men do. They think more logically. We kind of think more in the feeling. So, we are all there to, help each other. If you have a great idea, you don't mind sharing it with other women. You don't even get paid to use Tide, but if you love Tide, you're telling all your friends about it. Yeah. Men aren't quite as eager to do things like that. So if you come up with an idea, share it with somebody else, whether it be a self-help idea. Just let them know that, you're thinking them, we don't have as much of a problem, but sometimes if we need help, don't be afraid to ask.
I was always afraid to ask. I like doing things myself. So this made Kate think, what are some things that you learned about yourself during this time?
I learned that I can come out of my complacency after being in Mary Kay so long. I found that, again, I never realized how much I did love connecting people until this came around. I loved the fact that I'm just probably even more like blown away at how blessed I am to have a business because I was working from home part-time. It's not quite so hard for me. People that used to going to an office every day for 8 hours a day, that might have been more of a challenge. So again, I'm blessed that it wasn't as big of a deal for me. But I just love what I do. So it's actually made me better with my time because I'm not flitting around doing a little bit of everything. I'm actually able to, get focused a little bit more so I can focus when I want to and when I need to. And I love, again, working with my consultants and helping them to do the same. So I think I've learned more about that, how much I value those women in my unit and my customers. So.
And you've learned a lot of technology.
I have. Michelle, you've been a huge help with that too.
Very proud of you.
So much. I'm so proud of you for, taking a step out of your comfort zone too.
Thank you.
And learning some new things.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be doing this in my group. Let's put it that way. This I have to say, COVID has not been that bad for us here. Knock on wood, nobody's been sick, nobody's been affected. But I think it's definitely made me grow as a woman, as a mom, as a business owner. Like I said, I never thought I'd be interviewing and doing more Facebook Lives, but it's the wave of the future now, unfortunately, and it's how we're going to grow our businesses. And it's so important to think outside of the box when it comes to that. And that's something that you've really done. I'm very proud of you for getting on social media and doing your Facebook Lives. Now we got to get you on Instagram Live.
I know we have to do that. I'm sure you must have a course I can take for that.
I will create one. You're not the only person to say that.
I'll
so
sign up
on my list. Well, thank you. How can people get in touch with you? And then if you want to, after, make sure to leave a comment under the live with all of your contact information. But how can people reach out to you?
I will put my email address, but it's cthomas and the number 6.ct@gmail.com. I also have a website, www.marykay.com/C Thomas, the number 6. And I have a virtual card, and I'll put all of that right in a comment in the group.
Great. Well, thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I know this is only the second one, but it's interesting to hear the different versions from Kate's to yours and how you're both handling it. And it seems like so far it's been good for you both and for me as well. So that's always a good thing. But I think for the people that need that motivation to listen to both interviews, and you each had something different to say, and I think that's really, really cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll get together for a virtual wine soon.
Okay, great.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.